Shalom, good morning. Sister Kate here. I'm up by the coop. I got my morning cup of coffee. No, tea, sorry. It's a chai tea, and I put cream and pumpkin spice and honey in it, and it's really good. And I'm going to let those ducks out today. They're making the kind of noises that means they anticipate some food, which I am going to give them. And behind me, you can see the coop, and I'm going to let my chickens out. They haven't been out in a couple of days because we lost a baby chick. And so I'm not real excited about letting them out, but they deserve it. They need to get some greens and stuff, and their run right now doesn't have any. It's good for them. So I'm going to let them out now. Everybody wants food. The birds that were taken were golden colored, and they're in another pen now where they can't escape because it's really easy to see them on this background. I think that's why one of them got taken, because they were running all over, and their coloring makes them easier prey. Excuse me, got something in my throat this morning. This is going to be a little bit more leisurely of a video today. I want to talk to you about a movie I watched last night, but I got to do my morning chores, and I just thought y'all might find them kind of interesting, and now I'm going to let those ducks out. I'll be right back. All right, so there they go, headed for the pond. So we had some invaders who have started to learn the noises that putting the grain out makes, and they come from another part of the property to take advantage of that. They are this year's babies, born in the spring. See if I can get out of the way a little bit for you. Watch them. All three of them are females, so they're going to end up being part of the bigger herd. For you people who love ducks, I talked about, I can't remember if it was in a post or a comment, training my ducks to kind of be driven. So there's three things I normally try with them, and they seem to just instinctively know this. And the first one is just go forward, which means away from me. They always go away from you because they're afraid of you. But if you put your arms out and just walk towards them, normally they head directly away from you. Then, if you want them to turn a direction, you start moving one of your hands, and they're going to go away from that. So if I want them to head this way, I wave this arm, and they generally turn. And if I want them to go the other way, then I wave the other arm. And they generally turn and go that way, but they're going to be heading away from you the whole time. We got one hen who's afraid to come out, so she's making a stink. Also, ducks don't know that your arms are just this short. And so if you hold sticks in your arms, it's even easier to get them to move. So that's a homesteading tip from Sister Kate. Now, let me go find a comfortable place to sit down, and I want to talk to you about this movie, Blood Red Sky. The little brown ducks that are in the pond out here have never been in the pond before. And they followed the other ducks partially there, and then I used the rounding up things, and they went right after them. They were going to follow them because ducks like to flock together. And they have been in pools and puddles and things, but they've never been in an actual pond. And they're really taken to it like ducks to water. I found my little spot. It's on the porch. And ugly. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you all very quickly about this movie I watched called Blood Red Sky. It was on Netflix. Made by a German company with, a multi-ethnic cast. And basically, it's about terrorists taking over planes. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail in case, hang on a minute. It has its own plot twists and stuff, but that's not the purpose of my video. The purpose of my video, you don't see me. There we go. The purpose of my video is, my hair mess, to draw a parallel between that movie and what happened in reality. So I will say that the movie gives a apocalyptic point of view at the end that whatever's on that plane is now going to infect everybody. And it immediately struck me the particular parallelism to what actually did happen in late 2019, early 2020, when people infected with the coronavirus got on planes and went all over the world. And coronavirus came to the notice of the world's attention right after what is the Chinese New Year. And I believe it was in January, February timeframe. In America, we were trying to impeach President Trump, which was a whole waste of taxpayers' money and time. And the Senate and the House, the Dems were just wasting time. They got no legislation done at that time. And there's a representative called Dan Crenshaw. He's a 2nd District congressman from Texas who gives blow-by-blow accounts of what's happening on the floor in Congress and how much time Nancy Pelosi wastes with frivolous, ridiculous, like trying to ban flavored tobacco and things like that. Just as a side note, Watters World just did an expose on Nancy Pelosi and her money and how rich she's gotten while she's in Congress. And there are 11 different circumstances that they highlighted. This cat, man, she's driving me nuts. She keeps trying to get the chickens. I'm sorry to keep getting interrupted. I think I'm OCD, but then I realize my attention is being taken by everything around me, like that dang cat trying to get the chickens. I'm half convinced she's the one who took my little bird the other day. Anyway, Nancy Pelosi had 11 incidences where she was allowed to do something that only people who own stock brokerage companies normally do, get in on some sort of deals where something was going to be devalued and she was going to make a whole bunch of money. And that's like legally, she's not allowed to do that. And she did. And she made herself millions of dollars. She and her husband both have made millions of dollars. But this is an aside. The point I was making was If you've seen a pandemic movie where, someone's got a thing and it spreads to somebody else and then it goes all over the place and people are desperately trying to find a cure for it, it's exactly what happened with COVID. These Chinese people who were infected with it during this celebration, which is a big deal to them, they gather with family members and they have big meals and they give each other presents. And because there are Chinese people all around the world, Chinese people were getting on planes and going all around the world, going to Italy and America and England and Spain and France and, just everywhere. And that's where you saw the first outbreaks of COVID were where those people went. And they were basically doing the pandemic thing. Um, Now, lucky for all of us, it didn't wipe us all out like it does in the movie. And whether you believe it or not, scientists came up with a vaccine very fast. Could be suspicious, I'm not going to say. But we're all here. And what they did or didn't count on was the natural immunity that our bodies react to the virus and make a natural immunity to it. And so there's 44 million people. I forget. I haven't checked the numbers lately. I think 44 million here in the States who've already had COVID. And of those 44 million, 600,000 have died from it. And I don't want you to think that I think 600,000 people is a small number. It's not. But in America, if you compare it to other rates, I think 300,000 people die of heart disease every year in America, and there's motor vehicle accidents. So 600,000 relatively is not a huge number. Also, I'm still reading the book The White War about the Austro-Italian battles during World War One, and the Italians lost 600,000 men in that war in just 1 year. So it's all kind of relative. Now, that's not me saying COVID's a walk in the park. It's not. For many people, it's very serious, and 600,000, it was fatal. But we have not wiped out the whole population of the planet. That has not happened with this particular pandemic, whether it was supposed to do that or not. And if you think about how to spread a disease that you want spread in our modern times, because in 1918, when the flu was spread, it was spread by soldiers involved in that war on ships for 2 months together, going to ports in other countries and getting off. In America, airplanes are not in America, in the world, airplanes are the way to spread your pandemic, because airplanes are flying all over the world every day. And you've got people, carriers of it, who can get on with it, spread it on the plane, get off, go spread it wherever they go to on the other side of their journey. That is the most effective way. And one other way, but it has to be done more locally, is someone releasing it into a waterway, into a river, more than a lake, unless the lake is a supplier for a large amount of people, and then you release it into the lake and it goes in the water and into people's homes, and then they get it and they can spread it. So Blood Red Sky ostensibly is a terrorist movie, which is also a modern plague on us right now, but it's the quintessential picture of the spread of a disease. And we've had that happen in our lifetime, which not everybody can say they have. And it did affect our country and our world profoundly. And that's another reason why it's most likely something planned and biological attack. Whether it leaked or not, it did come from the Chinese, and they did infect the world with it. Don't ever forget that now, because that's probably going to come up later. It's probably a detail that may become important. All right, y'all, I'm going to get out in this beautiful weather. I am going to take care of the rest of my chores. I hope you have a blessed day. Keep your eye on the news, and shalom. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.